this going here. Awesome. And hello, Nadine. I haven't seen you on a Zoom for a while. Welcome. All right, so restaurants, do's and don'ts. One of the hardest things, well, it's on the list of the hardest things for me to break to people when it comes to weight loss is you don't always get what you think you get when you go out to eat. And it's a really difficult concept to understand because even when you are going out to eat and you're ordering the cleanest thing off the menu, there's no telling what you're really getting. And on that list, what comes to mind is one of the other really hard things for me to break to people that doesn't seem to come easy to digest is that, and this has nothing to do with tonight's presentation, but just kind of came to me, is that fruit, as healthy as it is, you can't eat a ton of fruit and lose weight. So those two things kind of run parallel in that they're hard to understand. It's hard to logic when you go out to eat and you order a salad or you order something that is absolutely 1000% something that you would make at home. And when you make it at home, it's clean cut, X amount of calories, you know exactly what you're getting. But when you go out to eat, it's not. And unless you are back there preparing it, you don't know what you're getting. And there's been a lot of research done. I've actually read one of my favorite books that I've read. It's called Mindless Eating. And it's available now on Audible, but it was actually done here in Illinois at University of Illinois in Champaign. There's an actual food study lab that looks like a restaurant, and you wouldn't know that it's a food study lab, but it's a restaurant. When you go there to eat, and it is truly there to study eating habits, eating behaviors of people. And obviously when you're done, they have to tell you that you've been under study, under research, but they study what people do when they're eating and when they're dining out as opposed to eating at home. And this kind of goes along with also the calories that you're taking in. So this kind of bundles into two separate topics, but the two together create the perfect storm. And so when you're eating out, you're socializing. Typically when you're eating out, you are not at home, obviously, unless you bring it home. But in the case of socializing, eating out, whether you're with friends, family, you are there for an extended period of time, and you're typically eating the entire time, which means more calories. When we eat at home, typically it's a shortened meal. When I go upstairs to eat dinner tonight, even though I'm the slowest eater in the world, typically dinner at home, you're done eating in 15, 20 minutes. If you're at a restaurant eating, you're there longer eating. And I know a lot of it is because of service time, wait time, but there's several entrees being served. And when you go to a restaurant, more than likely you're having appetizers, soup, salad, possibly dessert. So that chain of entrees is going to add up. And we've been conditioned in a way to expect these things. If we go out to eat, and if a meal doesn't come with a soup or a salad or a side dish, it's not a good value. So we don't want to go there. Or if we do go to an upper end restaurant and everything's a la carte, we still order everything a la carte. So we are just pounding on those calories.
What's up?
I wanted you to see if I broke my phone.
Oh, that's the one.
In addition to all of that, there's been a lot of studies done with plate sizes. And in the 1960s, plate sizes were an average of 9 inches. I don't have a 9-inch plate here to show you. I wish I would have thought to draw one, but the average plate size at a restaurant now is 15 inches. That's gargantuan. So when we go out to eat, we're served this plate, and we are conditioned to finish everything off our plate. The longer we sit there, the longer we socialize, the longer we talk, the longer we wait for our check, the longer we wait for the next entree, we eat. And therefore we don't even realize, because it's so mindless. So before I go on with my presentation, I do want to share a really interesting study that was done at this food lab in Champaign, and it's one that has just really intrigued me, and it's kind of changed the way that I think. It's changed the way that I eat certain things, but the study was done on 2 separate nights. It was a all-you-can-eat chicken wing night, and the wait staff was instructed on one night to take away the chicken wings, the debris, the eaten wings from the tables from people that were eating. It was all you can eat. So they would eat the chicken wings, the wait staff would take it away, bring more. The wings were counted, how much was eaten. Same situation, another big game was on, same scenario, but the wait staff was asked to keep the debris, the bones, whatever, on the table. So study was done, bones were counted. It was astonishing. It was, I think it was 54% more chicken wings were eaten on the night that the bones were taken away, because we're mindless. Just because the bones weren't there, they didn't see them, they kept eating. Blew me away to think that just because they didn't see it. Same thing goes, all you can eat restaurants. If all those plates just sat in front of you, it would chime to you as to how much you've really eaten. And at restaurants, waiters and waitresses take away those entrees. Every time you finish something, they take it away. And so we don't realize how much we're taking in. And unless you are counting it and documenting it and paying attention to it, and unless you go there with a plan, you lose count. And then if you're dieting and you go to the restaurant with the mindset of, I deserve this, I've worked hard all week, I've been on this diet, I am going to enjoy myself, your guard is down. And now there's no cap on what you're doing. Another study was done where they installed bottomless bowls with straws on the bottom of the table. And basically the soup kept filling and people kept eating it. They didn't question why is this soup never running out? They were sitting at the table chatting, and they didn't realize how much they were eating because of it being mindless. So these are things that are really interesting when you are dining out, because you're not paying attention. You're people watching. You're looking around. You're not watching what you're doing like you are at home. So that's one thing that you should really pay attention to when you are eating out. And it's something that we don't think about doing when we're eating out. The second thing that you need to pay attention to, of course, is what you're eating. And even if, and you'll see in my presentation today, even if you study the bejesus out of what you're eating, and you have gone online and you have checked what you're eating up and down and sideways, there is no guarantee that that is what you're getting. Those calories, that nutritional information is submitted to the FDA by the restaurant because they have to. That does not mean that the wait staff is diligently abiding by those orders. And if you think about it, on a really crazy night, or even not, depending on where you're going and who's preparing the food, I doubt that they are paying attention to the measurements of the cheese and of the oil and of the butters and of all the other stuff that is being calculated in your entree. Food studies have been done where they've gone to restaurants and taken entrees that are 1,200 calories, taken them to an actual food lab and have them broken down. And overall, there's been a 20% error differential in what they're actually getting. So keep that in mind also. So when you are ordering out and your dish is 500 some calories, it might actually be 600 and some calories. So all these things have a play. Now, will that harm you if you go out to eat once in a while? No. Will it harm you if you go out to eat 3 or 4 times a week? Yes. The more you go out to eat, the more substantial that line of error is going to be. And if you look at the breakdown of how often people eat out, and I'm sorry, I don't have the statistics. I just did a presentation on this, but it was, I'll add it to the email tomorrow, but I want to say 80% of Americans eat out at least once a month, but it was like 23% eat out once a day, which was crazy. It adds up. So keep that in mind. You go to Starbucks, you order your, perfect example, I ate out today. I met a friend after 3 cancellations. We finally nailed it. We went out for sushi. I ordered a Diet Coke. I did. And I watched the waitress. She filled my Diet Coke up with regular Coke. Right there. So she came to my table and I said, I'm sorry, is that diet? And she looked right at me and she said, oh, I'm so sorry. So right then and there, you go to Starbucks, you order your sugar-free skinny latte, no sugar, no blah, blah, blah. You are not going to be able to tell what you're being served. And if you walk away thinking you drank a latte for 110 calories and it's 380 calories, there's your example. So the more often you do it, the bigger that line of error is going to be. And believe me, it's not that you want to, be hanging over the counter at Starbucks, but it does get very hectic back there. And so keep that all in mind, especially if you're not seeing progress and you're going out often. Okay. Also, it's not about what you order. It's not about what you do. It's about how you set yourself up before you go out to eat. And this to me was life-saving. I spent, sadly, 20 years of my life ordering salads when I would go out. And I was liking it. I had myself convinced that this is the way to go. Sadly, looking back, I was 25 pounds heavier then, and I was ordering salads every single time I went out to eat. And I don't know the last time I ordered a salad when I went out to, when I go out to eat now, because I'm doing things differently. And this is the most important part of this presentation. And it's definitely long overdue. I've talked about it in podcasts, but I've not done an actual presentation on this. And I hope that you guys take advantage of this. I'm going to talk about the binge blocker. I know I've talked about it before, but in talking with people, I'm finding that a lot of people are binge blocking, but they're binge blocking incorrectly. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. All right, so starting out, the truth awaits, restaurant facts and hacks. Oops, I always seem to do that. All right, so I did include this in a presentation last year, and I wanted to bring these characters back because they are great bad examples. And we love to learn from bad examples. So Perfect Patty is joining us tonight. She's a school administrator. We have Two Step Forward Frank with us. He's a firefighter. We have Cheat Day Charlie with us. He is a company CEO. Grazing Grace was with us as well. She's a stay-at-home mom. And Sustainable Sally is not here tonight. She couldn't make it, but we have Weekend Wendy here instead. Sustainable Sally had some things to do. So Weekend Wendy is here instead. All right, so going out to eat, the dangers of dining out. We're gonna talk about that, pitfalls of cheating yourself. I cheated myself by ordering a salad for 20 years. And I'm not kidding you. I ordered a salad for 20 years. I was cheating myself because look at it got me nowhere. Misconceptions and myths, awareness, and creating a realistic plan. And this is what it's all about. It's about that plan. So did you know that 6 out of 10 people believe that they deserve a cheat meal when they're dieting? And I don't hear it as often. I don't know why. I guess I should ask some of my new people. Maybe I have it somewhere subliminally written in the onboarding, but I used to years ago. It was like the ink was still wet on their material, and it was like, when do we get a cheat meal? And I'm thinking, you just got off of a 3-year eating binge. What are you talking about? You know, like there is no cheat meal. We're programmed to think this way. And I really have gotten away from that because we think of cheat and we think of just go out and eat whatever you want. So the thinking has to change there. You will enjoy your dinner more when you have boundaries. Nobody likes to be sick full. No one likes that feeling. Enjoying something is a lot more pleasant than gorging yourself. So get that out of that mindset. Cheat days are, again, they're sabotaging, negative connotations. It's an undocumented loss of control. And that's, again, what I did. It was, I'll have a salad, please. This on the side, this on the side, this on the side. But then I would have a cheat meal and eat 3 pieces of pie. I mean, that again, I wasn't understanding that it was the big picture. You know, we think that each day is a separate entity, but it's the big picture that matters. And so don't deprive yourself and then think you can get it all in one day. And that will help keep that guilt out as well. So first off, here's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, Frank. And the red days here are the days that he eats out. Now, like most firefighters, and I'm not picking on them by any means, but they work, every 3 days or every 2 days, 24-hour shifts. And when they're at the firehouse, and I just came from the firehouse, it is an eating frenzy. And they really do have this culture about firehouse eating, and it's changing, but they have this culture where they think on the days that they work that it could be an eating frenzy. And, people bring them food, people donate things, and here, let's bring this to the firehouse. And in this case, Frank has amazing clean eating days. You could see the green days are perfect. But on his firehouse days, it's an eating frenzy. It's cookies, it's whatever he wants. And it's ordering out. And those calories add up. And you could see here that even though most of his days are green, most of his days are perfect, and the yellow here are his workouts. When I added this up, he's still coming out with a 4,600 calorie overage, which means he's gaining 5 pounds each month, despite the fact that he is eating perfectly on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh, I got Sunday on there twice. It doesn't matter because those 2 days are setting him back that much. So this is what happens when we eat out. You could be having the perfect Sunday, Monday, and go out, and it will set you back, especially if it's not documented. If you document it, you could see it. You could see what you're taking in. And in this case, he's not. So he's just frustrated. And this is where a lot of people's frustration lies. I love this example, and this is a true story example. I wrote about it in my book. Cooper's Hawk has an amazing light menu. And I tell people all the time, if you're gonna go out to eat, pick off the light menu. Well, earlier on in my years of dieting, I thought this was the greatest idea. I did not know what a binge blocker was. And if you don't know what a binge blocker is, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I had gone out for a 20-mile training run this morning. Not this morning, that morning. And I was losing weight. I still had probably 20 to lose, and I was really feeling motivated, and I go to Cooper's Hawk. So I am going to eat good. I get there, I'm gonna eat good. I order my 1 glass of wine. Bread comes, no bread. Stay strong, Irene, no bread. No bread. Okay, I'm just gonna have a little bite, just a tiny, tiny little bite. So I had this little sliver. Like I'm talking like it was just a tiny bite. And there's a teeny bit of butter on it. I mean, it was like this big. It was like a cracker. Good job. Shrimp comes, not gonna have any. I'm sitting there, nope, not gonna have any, not gonna have any. Okay, I'm just gonna have 1 shrimp, because just one. Everyone else is just feasting. I'm looking around, people are eating chicken Alfredo, nacho platters. I'm over here, I just ran 20 miles. I'm having 1 shrimp. So look at it. There's no breading on it. What could be so bad? I eat a shrimp. So waitress comes, brings me another glass of wine. I didn't order it, but it was there, so I had it. So, but I'm still ahead of the game, because all I've had so far, for the love of God, is 1 shrimp and this tiny little sliver of bread. I mean, ridiculous. So I order my dinner, and I order this ahi tuna, because look at it. I mean, what could be better? Ahi tuna comes, it's all good. Then cheesecake comes for the table, and I just have a tiny little bit. Now, do you agree? Could this not have been the most perfect dinner, right? Could you do better when you eat out? I mean, I don't think so. This could not be better. This is a true story. This is a true story. I get to the car. I'm all proud of myself. I did good. I get up my FitnessPal, start logging it. I was repulsed beyond my life. So 1 glass of wine, 160. I knew that. This pretzel bun, if you eat the whole thing, is 500 calories. So I was being real. And I figured if I ate a sliver of it with a little butter, that was 85 calories. So I had to put that down. You can't ignore it. I mean, it was a sliver. This Bang Bang shrimp, I still to this day have no idea what on earth it's made out of, but I looked it up, and 1 shrimp is 390 calories. It must be like injected with butter, for real. I had another glass of wine, and this ahi tuna is 960 calories. 1 slice of cheesecake was 800 or 920 calories. I didn't eat half, but I put myself down for half, because at that point I was like, whatever. So looking back at this, is this not an example of how horrific eating out can be? And all I could think of was the woman eating chicken Alfredo next to me. I mean, what? Now, the mistake I made was, I did not order the ahi tuna off of the light menu because it looked the same. I'm like, this is ahi tuna. The ahi tuna off the light menu looked the same, but there was a difference because the ahi tuna off the light menu was only 390 calories because it didn't have all that crunchy stuff on top. The portion was much smaller. It didn't come with rice, you know, a rookie mistake. So again, had I done my homework before, I would have not made this huge mistake. And not to mention, it was 2,200 calories. It was 4,700 milligrams of sodium. And quite frankly, I would have picked 1,000 different things to eat over this. Not that it wasn't good, but it was definitely not worth that. And this happens all the time, all the time. This is one example of a face plant that I made. So don't be defeated. You know, you will definitely get cheated if you don't do your research. I mean, that is just the bottom line. I can say this all day long. You have to log it. You have to record it. You cannot be mindless. You know, if the waitress brings you your salad and it's got dressing on it and you said dressing on the side, that's happened to me 1,000 times. You just have to say, I'm really sorry. I need the dressing on the side. That's a 200 or 300 calorie mistake. It's just salad. Say, you know, save your calories for something worthwhile. You know, the waitress brings a second glass of wine. Of course you're going to take that. I mean, pick your battles for sure. Pick your battles. Okay. And don't have it because it's there. That cheesecake, I vividly remember, I didn't want it. I really didn't. I was at that point, I was so proud of myself. I was sitting there like, I did this. I'm so proud. I nailed this. And sadly, looking back, had I known that I had already consumed 2,000 calories, I would have eaten that whole piece of cheesecake because that's what we do. Isn't that sad? That's what we do. So don't eat it because it's there. Don't eat it because they bring it and it's got cheese on it and you said no cheese, because those calories still count. And that's where we fall into that mindless gray area. I hear this so often. Well, I went out to eat and the restaurant wasn't in MyFitnessPal, so I didn't know what to do, so I just didn't log it. You have to do the best you can. If you go to some off the beaten path Mexican restaurant and you have no idea what the chicken enchilada, you know, dish is, go on FitnessPal and find an authentic chicken enchilada dish. You know, you have enough resources now to know that it's not going to be 250 calories. You know, use your resources, you know, be real with yourself, because you're only cheating yourself when you come up with a fabricated number. And again, this is the biggest piece of advice right here, the binge block. Okay. And I'm going to talk about the binge block. So what is a binge block? I came up with this probably 3-4 years ago on accident. And I'm sorry if you've heard me tell the story in my podcasts, but it is a lifesaver. And people seem to confuse this as a snack or a mini meal. It is not. It is not the same as a mini meal. You have a ton of mini meals on your meal plan. It's not the same. A mini meal has similar traits. It's got, you know, the 25 grams of protein, the healthy fat, but it also has a carb. A mini meal is going to have a little bit more calories. It's going to be more filling. Usually when you're done eating a mini meal, you actually feel like, you know, satisfied, full. After you eat a binge block, you don't really feel that way. After you're done eating a binge block, you kind of want to keep eating, but you don't, because you know you're going out to eat. So you have that mindset about you. And typically if you're going out to eat, you don't want to ruin your appetite, right? So you have that like, okay, stop eating now because you're going out to eat. And so I want to tell you how I accidentally came up with this. I was going out for sushi with probably 15 of my clients back when I was a personal trainer. And of course, I wanted to go out at like normal dinner time, which is like 7. And I was no way going to make it. I was starving. It was like 5 o'clock. And I'm like, there's no way. I mean, I was starving. So knowing that I wasn't going to make it, I made myself a Greek yogurt with peanut butter. And the whole time I'm feeling so guilty making this cup of Greek yogurt with peanut butter. And I'm having this inner monologue in my head going, this is such a waste of calories. You're going out for sushi. What are you doing? But I was like audibly hungry, stomach growling. So I made the peanut butter conglomerate, and 2 hours later we go out to eat and sushi comes, sushi style. Everybody's got all this stuff out. And I'm sitting there with my martini and I'm like, wow, like I don't want any of this. Like, and I'm watching, of course, all my clients just dive in because they did the opposite. They do what we do when we go out to eat, and that's skip lunch and, not eat anything because they're saving their calories for dinner. And I'm sitting there going, I really couldn't stomach having the appetizers because I was fulfilled from having this 25 grams of protein and 20 grams of fat. So I'm sitting there going, all right, but am I going to want dinner? Well, now you're at a restaurant. So it's another hour before dinner comes. And so my dinner came and I ate it and I didn't finish it, which you really should never finish a restaurant dinner because they're always too big. I felt like, okay, I've run the Boston Marathon 6 times. I felt like I was crossing the finish line. I was like, I was so jacked up. Like to be at a restaurant with all this food, and knowing that normally I would face plant every time I went out to eat. It was always a fail. It was always like, oh, I did it again. I overate every time. This time I felt satisfied. I felt the food was delicious. And from like an outsider's view, although I wasn't judging, I was like watching what I would have normally been doing. And that would have been way overeating. And I didn't. And my food tasted way better than it normally did because I wasn't at that point of stupid stuffed, And so I went home and I'm like, I got to name this. This has to be a thing. So I toyed around with it. And I knew that it had to be something small that didn't take up a lot of room in your stomach. Because who wants to be full when they go out to eat? And the only way to do this is to have it be protein and fat. And knowing that I was studying for my nutritional degrees and that I knew that carbs, sugars would spike your insulin level, causing you to want to keep eating. So that's why I took the carb out, because if we throw in the carb that close to dinner, it's going to make you want to, keep eating. So and it's going to make you more full. So I took that piece out. So the binge blocker was born. And so what I'm finding though, when I'm telling people, are you binge blocking? People are like, yeah, I am. But I'm looking at their logs and they're binge blocking with a muffin. That's not binge block. They're binge blocking with 2 hard-boiled eggs. That's not binge block. They're binge blocking with, baby carrots and cucumbers and light ranch. No, that's not binge block. That's a snack. And that is like giving a really hungry baby a pacifier. You're just going to tick it off. You're just going to make it angry and then food's going to come and you're going to just go to town. So you want to give the baby a bottle. Give the baby a bottle so the baby is not as hungry 3 hours later. I mean, it makes perfect sense. And anytime you go out to eat, you're never going to leave the house and be eating an hour later. There's always going to be a 2-3 hour delay. So this is my rule, and it is foolproof, you guys. I do this all the time. all the time, not just for going out to eat, but barbecues, picnics. You're going to someone's house that's like Super Bowl parties where you just know there's nothing there that you can eat, nothing. Binge block. It's perfect. Then you can go to the Super Bowl party and eat, 2 chicken wings and you're fine with that because you're full. And you got to eat 2 chicken wings and it's great. You didn't eat 12 of them. So it really, 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 really works. And you're staying on the plan. So my favorite binge blockers are, and I ran to Aldi today. Of course, I had to buy more things at Aldi than I needed to. Isn't this a cute little dog toy box that I got? Okay, my favorite binge blockers are 1 can of tuna fish. Yes, the whole can, you guys. 1 can of tuna fish is 100 calories. Some of them might be 120. Let's see here. This whole can is 100 calories. That's it. So when I tell people to binge block and they're like, what? I'm going out to eat? What? That little sliver of bread that I ate at the restaurant was 85 calories, okay? This is 100 calories. That's it. If you don't like tuna, then 4 ounces of chicken. With half of an avocado. And I will tell you, when I do this, I do want to keep eating. Like you're like, what? That's it? I want more. But stop. Because 2 hours later, you are satisfied. 3 hours later, you're ready to eat, but you're not ready to eat everything in sight. If you don't like avocado, olives. Now, 2 olives here, looking at this, have 2 olives have 2 olives have 2 grams of fat. So I mean, you'd have to eat like 10 olives. I mean, I could do it, but so there you go. Okay. Another thing, which is fabulous, is pre-made guacamole. So again, if you don't like tuna, canned chicken with the guacamole, you need the fat, these 2 together. Now, what's the total calories on this? 200. You just ate 200 calories. That's it. And it's saving you thousands. And I'm gonna show you why. Okay. Let me show you another binge blocker. How the binge blocker was born. Greek yogurt must be plain Greek yogurt. If it's not plain, you're not getting all the protein. And obviously you're getting all the sugar and a tablespoon of peanut butter. If you don't want peanut butter, use nuts, but make sure you're getting 15 to 20 grams worth of fat in the nuts. So you'll have to calculate that out. Okay. This is going to keep you full. Do you want to throw strawberries in there and make it a big feast? No, because now you're having a mini meal. Now you're spiking your blood sugar. No, you're going out to eat. You want it to just be the protein and the fat. Okay. This with just peanut butter is amazing. And if you want to add some of your, sugar-free sweetener, great. Another good one, protein shake. But make sure you add the fat. I hear this all the time, but I had a protein shake. Protein shake is not going to cut the mustard. Have 20 grams of fat with it, whether it is you're putting peanut butter in it or the side of nuts. And drink that right before. I've had people text me before. I'm on my way out to eat. I forgot to binge block. I'm like, run into a gas station, get a Premier Protein and some nuts. Saved, because you're going to eat 2 hours later and you're not going to want to eat everything in sight. This is probably my favorite one. Cottage cheese, and I know a lot of people don't like cottage cheese, but cottage cheese with avocado. I know it sounds crazy, but it is really good. Because you got all this protein, and you have the fat as well. Now, along with this, I have the super binge blocker. The super binge blocker is if you are going out to eat somewhere and it's one of those restaurants where all they're serving is like nachos and bar food, and you're like, what am I going to eat here? Like, there's just nothing to eat. Nothing. Like, there is nothing there to eat. You're like in Wisconsin and all you can order is beer, chicken wings, and ribs. Those situations. If you're in a situation like that and you were to add, and believe me, this looks disgusting. Do not stir this up because it will gross you out. But cottage cheese, chicken or tuna with avocado or olives, little hot sauce on there. Okay, you guys, this is a true story. I made this once. It was when we were moving. We didn't have a lot of food in our house because we were all packed up. I made this once. I ate this, the 25 grams, the 20. I made my husband double the batch. I don't think I needed to eat for like 7 hours. I mean, I was like, wow. I mean, if you are ever going somewhere where you are like SOL, this is what you want. And go to the party, have a chicken wing or two, order have a slice of pizza. But this is going to keep you full, and it's not going to, you have to eat. You have to, if you're going to go to a party and there's only hot dogs there, eat a hot dog. It's 300 calories, but you'll be satisfied with the hot dog. The hot dog's not going to kill you. It's the dips and the this and the coleslaw and everything else that's gonna get you, and you won't feel deprived because you're full. So, for examples, here they are. This is what we do wrong. This is what I did wrong for so many years. You have a granola bar, you have a muffin, or you make a half a sandwich. And yes, these are going to tie you over, but they're not going to tie you over enough where you're going to feel full come restaurant time. This is golden advice, golden. I've gone on 10 all-inclusive vacations over the years before COVID. Thank you, COVID, for ruining my streak. And I would always binge block before going to dinner at the buffets, because then I'd get to the buffet and I would load my plate up like to no tomorrow, but I would stop when I was full because I'd get full, and I felt really satisfied. Because remember, when you're eating at home, you're eating 400 calories at a meal, and you go out to eat and it's not that. So here's an example. We have somebody that typically goes out to eat, uneducated in the matter of eating out. They had their awesome oats. You could see they put it all in. They didn't have a morning snack because they're like, I'm saving my calories. For lunch, they skimped on the chicken because, again, they're going out to eat. I got to save my calories for dinner, right? So they only put 2 ounces of chicken on their salad, or barely any chicken on their salad. For their snack, they had cucumbers and 2 cups of cucumbers, 2 cups, with light dressing. Now they get to the restaurant. They had their wine, 2 slices of deep dish pizza, medium, which is not outrageous. I've done it. Cheese sticks for appetizers, piece of garlic bread, and a small salad. They took in 1,800 calories at dinner, which is not outrageous. Believe me, it's not. So 1,800 calories in one sitting. And this, again, is not stretching it. Same scenario. They had their breakfast. They didn't have a morning snack because they never do. They had their salad at lunch. They put the chicken on there. They put the olives on there like they normally do. If you look back at the other person, the salad difference is only 100 calories. So this person added 100 measly calories to their salad. This person binge blocked 280 calories. They get to the restaurant, they had 2 glasses of wine and 1 slice of deep dish pizza, which in my opinion is a really nice out to dinner treat. They didn't want the bread, they didn't want the cheese sticks, they didn't want, and felt satisfied. And in the end, they're still at their goal. So do you see how it's not so much what you order, it's what you do before. It's that mindset of what you do before. So here's Perfect Patty. Perfect all day. And this is a little bit different of a scenario, but I wanted to weave it into tonight's presentation because Perfect Patty is perfect until nighttime. And at night, she just has her glass of wine and her 5 Triscuits and 2 slices of cheese, because that's not a lot. I mean, it's a glass of wine and 5 Triscuits and 2 slices of cheese. But as you can see, despite the fact that it's perfect all day, 5 Triscuits, a glass of wine and 2 slices of cheese are adding up to 4,000 calories of an overage at the end of the week. Even though she's working out, as you can see, 300 calories, 500 calories, 500 calories, 400 calories, and she is gaining 2 pounds a month. So it's not that she's gaining 2 pounds, but she's the person that's like 165, 168, 165, 168, 167, 165, 168, 167, right? But all day long, she's doing awesome. And that's all we seem to remember. And so this is the same as the person that's going out, getting that latte, going out, having the, Panera at lunch, maybe not realizing that it's not the calories that it is. So it's a very slippery slope. And of course, the cheat day. You could be perfect all week long, and one day could throw you off. And when we don't pay attention, and I just did a podcast on this, somebody asked me, how is it that it took me 3 months to lose 10 pounds and I gained it back in 1? And I said, because when we are losing, we're documenting everything we're doing. But when we're gaining, we're not documenting. I said, had you written down everything that you ate over that month, you would have seen how high your calories were. And when we have cheat days like this, we don't write it down. I mean, I one time, for the heck of it, wrote down what I ate when I was carb loading for a marathon. Oh my God, I hit 3,000 calories in a minute. It happened fast. It adds up. And then finally, Grazing Grace, and this is a lot of people's problem, is they eat good all day, but it's a strawberry here, and it's a couple sips of their kids' apple juice, and it's a handful of nuts. And I mean, 50 calories, 50 calories, 50 calories, 50 calories are going to add up. And despite the fact that they're working hard and everything's in line, all those little grazes definitely add up. And then of course, Weekend Wendy, that falls in the same place as the cheat day. And that's the whole, it's the weekend. I sleep in, I didn't eat breakfast. We got up, we went to this game. I didn't pack anything. So I had a hot dog and then it's the avalanche. So the bottom line is, to be successful, you have to plan. You've been successful so far in this program because you have planned. So the weekends have to be planned for. The restaurants have to be planned for. You have to log your calories, and it's okay to go over. We are so programmed to be afraid to go over those calories. I am here to tell you that when you don't log, you're going over. You're just not seeing it. So it's better to see it, because then you at least are realizing what you're going over with, and if it's even worth it. Like my ahi tuna, that was not worth it. I would have had a cheeseburger for sure. I would have had a cheeseburger, 2 martinis, and onion rings in a second. Allow yourself to have the splurges when you want them, not because someone is guilting you into them. And that goes with restaurant eating. I hear this all the time. I heard it probably twice today. Well, but my husband wants me to go out to eat, and I feel guilty because, he wants me to go out to eat. And I get that. Of course, I get that. But my answer to that is, you should also get to not go out to eat. Like, it should be an equal thing too. Or if you are going out to eat, you could still make a good decision. And if you're going out to eat, make it just the meal. Don't throw the whole day away. Because that's another thing we tend to do, is think because we went out to eat that the whole day is trashed. So of course, binge block and get on the scale the next day. Report to that warden. You're going to see it go up because of the sodium. There's no way you're not. I went to McDonald's once to get just a chicken breast, just the chicken breast, because I was hungry and I'm like, okay, I need protein. Go through the drive-thru. I'm like, I just want a chicken breast. They're like, just a chicken breast? I'm like, yeah, just a chicken breast. Get the chicken breast. I take a bite. Right away, I was like, what is the sodium on this? I look it up. It was crazy. It was like 1,000 for the chicken breast. So you're going to just bank on being up because of the salt. So don't think because you went out to eat that you gained 5 pounds because you ate out. It's salt. Accept the fact that you're going to go out to eat and you're going to be up in weight. Even if you ate perfectly, that is going to drop. And monitor your weight patterns, because once you get this under a good routine, you're going to know, I go out to eat once a week, my weight goes up the next day, but it goes back down, and I continue to lose weight. Then you know that once a week is a good amount of time to go out to eat. But like I always say, go out to eat when you want to. Don't go out to eat because you're being lazy. There's a total difference. Go out because your friends and neighbors and family are saying, let's go out to socialize. Don't go out because it's a Wednesday night and you haven't made dinner. Okay. And then of course you have your splurges. All of these here could be modified. I went out for sushi today. I did not have the above. I had the below, and I stopped when I was full. Don't have it vamped out. You go out for pizza, tell them light cheese, tell them thin crust. You go out for a burger, tell them, no cheese, no mayo, no bacon. You can trim a lot of the literal fat by shaving off a lot of the calories, and not sitting there ordering a salad like I did for 20 straight consecutive years. So, any questions? Any questions about the binge blocker? Have any of you tried that? Has it worked?
And this is Leslie. I try it, but I've realized I've been with Irene for years. I forget the fat. I need to add the fat.
Oh, it has it worked with just the protein?
It does. Like I had a cup of yogurt the other day before going out. So a cup of plain Greek yogurt, like the small single serve cups. And it worked. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but I'll add the fat next time.
Yeah, it's huge. And again, I want to stress that it's not destroying your appetite. You're still enjoying it. It's not
Right.
like you're eating it and then you're going there going, well, I don't want to eat anything.
No, by the time your food arrives and, it's a process. So
Yeah. We went out for my son's birthday not too long ago. Marissa, you were there. Marissa got to witness this. And I had a binge blocker before we went. And, my weakness is guacamole. And the guacamole came and I didn't jump in it and swim in it like I normally do because I binge blocked. I had a couple bites and my dinner came and I ate half of it and meant to bring the rest of it home and I forgot it there. But I I felt really satisfied, where normally I would have eaten my weight in guacamole and then my entire dinner. Because then something kind of happens in your head when you've gone over that limit and you're at a restaurant, you kind of get that like screwed, I blew it syndrome. And then you're like cheesecake, you know, because you've crossed that line. So, you know, if you can maintain that and leave there feeling like you did a really good job, that's half the battle. So, other questions? No questions? All right then. Well, thank you for joining. And you guys are off to dinner now. I'm off to dinner too. I have all this yummy food down here. I have all my Aldi. You see that blanket? Aldi. Mhm. I ran to Aldi to get binge blocker stuff, and I got blankets. I got look at these 3 dog pillows. It was a deal today at Aldi. Chris saw last week I went to Aldi. I walked out with like 7 bottles of wine and chocolate.
They call that the aisle of shame, where you buy
I
all your
know.
blankets and
I
stuff.
love
Yeah.
that. And you know, I ran really fast because I was going to the fire department. So I know I can get in and out of there in no time. No bags, no cart. You should have seen me. I had this big dog thing, the blanket, three of these dog beds and all this food. I'm like, I did it though. That's right. Get you fit, paid off. So anyways, all right, you guys, well, enjoy your night. I'm being summoned upstairs because I only have prepared dinner, so I must go. So,
Thank
all right, you
you.
guys, enjoy your night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Marissa, I'll text you later, okay? Bye.
Yes, yes.